Celebrating 40 years of the East Syracuse Manoa High School, you're watching The Morning Show on ESN TV. I'm your host, Tony Valentino, and beside me is the lovely
Jess Coulter.
And today we will be standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, we've got some school announcements for you today, so Jess, why don't you start those off?
I will. There will be a senior class meeting this Thursday to discuss the senior ball and prepare for it. This will be in D11 after school. DECA is holding a car wash on Saturday, April 8th from 10 to 12:30 at Fremont Lane's Bowling Alley's parking lot. Buy your pre-sale tickets from any DECA member today for a $5 donation. All DECA members are encouraged to work the car wash on Saturday and sell pre-sale tickets for the car wash. These can be picked up in G11 from Miss Mock.
The weight room will be closed at 5 o'clock this Friday, but will be reopening on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week from 9 to 11. That's over the vacation. And see Coach Etchbacher or Coach Powell with any questions. All National Honor Society members or inductees should report to the auditorium today at 1:15 for rehearsal. You must attend in order to remain a member in good standing.
There will be a junior class meeting today after school in B43 where we will discuss the prom fundraising. Juniors, please return your candy money to Miss Hogan. Peak members, everyone needs to see Mrs. Vollmer immediately. The wristbands are in and need to be sold immediately. In addition, turn your field trip permission slips with your teacher's permission slip ASAP. The JV softball ESM versus Chittenango on April 6th site is changed to East Syracuse Elementary, not the high school. The boys varsity and JV lacrosse in Whitesboro on April 6th sites are now varsity at Whitesboro High School and JV Marcy Elementary.
All right, in some world news, we're saying a tearful goodbye to Dick Cheney as we send him over to Iran for some peacekeeping conferences. That's big news.
It's a shame.
It's big news. Also, we have a shocking report with Zach Seishan in the hallway. What do you have for us, Zach?
Good morning, I'm Zach Seishan, and I'm here today with our top story. Apparently, last night, from the rainstorm, a bunch of worms were able to find their way through this door. Apparently, it was built too short, or there's a crack between the doors, or something of that form. And the worms somehow were smart enough to crawl through and helplessly make their way into the shelter. You can see here the carcasses of what's left. They only got about 2 feet before they gave up and shriveled. I don't know what to say. Should I rest in peace and give them a funeral? I don't know. But who's to blame for this travesty? Is it the construction workers who built the doors? The janitors? I don't see how it could be the janitors. I don't know. But one thing is for sure is that this is a sad day for worms. And I ask you all this morning, next time you're walking in the rain and you see a worm crawling on the side of the street, think twice before you step on it.
Well, that is certainly a horrifying story.
Horrifying.
And, well, as you guys know, this is Jess Coulter, our other dream job candidate.
That I am.
And if you enjoyed Jess today, or anybody else over this week, please email esntv@yahoo.com to share your opinion with us, and maybe you'll see them on next week. And, maybe those worms could have stayed inside stayed outside if it was a day like today, because it's a little brisk.
It is brisk.
Probably a little frozen. They probably could have stayed in the ground. Let's ask Rob when this weather's going to perk up.
Bad news for worm lovers and weather lovers, because it's going to be a little bit before. Okay, there we go. Bad news for worm lovers. It's going to snow today. It's terrible. So let's take a look at these highs and lows. There's a 42 and 31, which, as we all know, is below freezing. So there's going to be a little snow today, but not too much, looking like it's going to snow in the afternoon. Take a look at the map. This is where the precipitation is going to come from. It's going to come on down, but luckily there's not much, so it won't be very long. If we take a look at the weekly weather planner, and you can see that tomorrow and the day after it'll be up in the high 40s, maybe get into the 50s. And then later on in the week we'll get some higher temperatures, and Monday and Tuesday are looking pretty nifty. Okay, that's all I've got for weather.
What's that?
if all this snow is going to interfere with our sports.
Let's ask Steve.
Well, guys, the spring sports are definitely being hammered by our cold weather as the boys had to cancel their track meet yesterday against Chittenango. However, that will hold place in May 1st. But a game that didn't have to be canceled was ESM versus Chittenango in boys lacrosse, and it was a thrilling game that came down to overtime with ESM winning 7-6. In other sports last night, we had the women's national championship game in which Maryland led a comeback against Duke and ended up winning in overtime 78-75. A much better national championship game than the men's national championship, which saw Florida blow out UCLA and resulted in a 25% ratings decrease from the last year's national championship. Also in NFL news, we have Eric Moulds for you Bills fans. He was traded to the Houston Texans yesterday, reportedly for a 4th or 5th round selection. And all charges were dropped against former Minnesota quarterback Dante Culpepper. He's now with the Dolphins. So good news for Fins fans. And the younger brother of Greg Paulus, Mike Paulus, is being scouted by 22 schools, and among his top schools is Syracuse University. So, hey, he's a junior now. He might be quarterbacking for the Syracuse Orange in 2007. So that's something to look forward to. Something a little better than 1-11, huh? And so now we have a highlight from the Yankees game last night. As we know, they opened the season up with a nice win over the Oakland A's. Let's see how they fared last night. Right here we have a nice hit by the A's, and it's a tie game as you see here. However, the Yankees would hope to come back. Here's a Johnny Damon double, which would lead the Yankees to a little bit of hope. It's 3-3 right now, but the A's wouldn't have any of that. As we see right here, it's an RBI single, which would end up clinching the game for the Oakland A's. And 4-3 is your final. Yankees 1-1 on the season. However, it's only April, guys, so come back in June when the baseball season really heats up. Guys, that's all I got for sports. Hopefully let's warm up a little bit so we can start having some real spring sports.
Well, thank you very much, Steve. Now, Jess, today we have a trivia question.
A trivia question?
So if you've got a blank space on your wall at home, please pay attention right now. Maybe you can fill it with a nice poster. Here's the question of today. What was the theme on American Idol last night? Now, if you know that answer, please email it to esmtv@yahoo.com along with your dream job nomination. And we'll tell you who the winner is tomorrow. And also, before we go, we all know Easter's coming up.
We do.
And we all know that that can be a very dangerous holiday.
Really?
Yes. And we have proof coming up for you. But before we take that, I just want to remind everybody to have a very safe Easter holiday. And of course, be careful where you put your eggs.
We're going to do this every day now. Okay, we need about 100 eggs.
Don't stand.
Oof. That is horrible.
Awful.
I want to see it again.
It happened to me last Easter.
Yep. So everybody, please get your Easter helmets at your local Easter helmet store. And I think that's all we have for you today.
Thank you, ESM.
Thank you for watching
Every
ESM
day
TV.
now.
Moving from good to great together.
Okay, we need about 100 eggs.
Maybe a third time. No?
Again? No?
All right. Well, this has been ESM TV, where we are moving from good to great together. I love watching babies hit their heads.
You know, I'm not a man who's ever been insecure about the world I've been living in.